Alright. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to Apartment Shenanigans. This is Avery. I'm here with Justin.
Hey, what's up?
And no Ben today. Ben is sleeping, but we are going to be talking about the notorious Kingdom Hearts series. Specifically Kingdom Hearts 3 as well. And this is something that me and Justin have been talking about. Just wanted to talk about on the podcast for a little bit now. And we decided to do it right now. It's just very spontaneous. But hopefully you guys enjoy. If you're not interested in the series, or if we go, we're going to go into spoilers. This series is...
there's so much to talk about.
This series has been out since, 2002?
Yeah.
So it's an old series. If you don't know it, learn it, play it.
Kingdom Hearts 3. Great series. Favorite video game series right there.
Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out January 29th, 2019. And you have months to get the collections, which are cheap.
They're cheap. All the games are there, ready for you to play or watch.
Watch or play. PlayStation 3, you got that. You can play it. PlayStation 4, even better. But just, I guess that'll be it for the quick little spiel at the beginning, because yeah. So the date we're recording this is September 14th. I guess technically the 15th now. It's past midnight. And earlier this week, they dropped a short trailer. The first time they showed the Big Hero 6 world.
And that was the first world they announced. So I almost forgot about that, because that was, 2014, I think, when they first announced that world?
Yeah, they showed off concept art for the world, and everyone's been expecting it, and I forgot about it too.
Yeah, and I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a world. It's like one of those things you knew it was there, but you just forgot about it because you hadn't seen anything, because they've been showing all, obviously, Mount Olympus, and then Frozen. You've been seeing those worlds, getting all the hype. Tangled's in there, and then you're just like...
Which, I know they mentioned a few years back, which I'm not sure if it's still true. They said they were going to announce all the worlds before the game's released.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is a little weird, because you want something to be a surprise.
For sure.
But, and I'm also kind of shocked. They brought back Mount Olympus, so Hercules, as the Disney movie. Mm-hmm. And Hercules has been in almost every Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah, just about.
It's been in 1, 2, although 2 was just the underworld rather than the Colosseum. Birth by Sleep. Was it in Days?
Not sure if it was in Days. Might have been, though. I'm not sure.
It's been in most of the Kingdom Hearts games, and for it to return, it's returning in a big way. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to be able to climb all of Mount Olympus.
Yeah. This is gonna be probably the first world you're in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's gonna be right. It's gonna be very early in the game when you're there.
Because they said the game's opening up with young Master Eric and Xehanort, and then you're going to Mount Olympus.
It's like when you start playing with Sora, Sora's, we know from Triple J, going to Mount Olympus.
And he's in his Kingdom Hearts 2 attire, assuming he's gonna get his new outfit and a new Keyblade once he finishes that world or something.
Yeah.
But Mount Olympus, it's kind of surprising that they're bringing that back, but it makes sense story standpoint. Mm-hmm. And
that's always been the training grounds in the Kingdom Hearts series. It's every time you go there, you have the training with Phil and the Coliseum events to compete. So it's just kind of what it's been.
Which in Kingdom Hearts 1, the training in air quotes is just getting
boxes. Just getting boxes and barrels. It's just now you're super strong. It's what?
And you're still only junior heroes, even though you defeated Cerberus and Hades and Cloud from Final Fantasy VII. It's but and then they are also bringing back, I'm thinking about just games, worlds that they're bringing back in Kingdom Hearts 3. You can say they're bringing it back, but Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's going to be a different area than it's been, because it was just Port Royale in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, Port Royale. You went to different islands, and it was based off the first movie, right?
Yeah, I think so.
With the medallion and the curse.
Mm-hmm. This one's the 4th or 5th? I don't know. There's so many.
It's Dead Man's Chest.
Dead Man's Chest. No. I think it's at World's End. I'm pretty sure it's at World's End.
Whatever one with Davy Jones. I honestly...
I haven't really seen that many of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, so I'm not sure which one it is.
I've seen the first 2, and I've seen parts middle to the end of other ones. Mm-hmm. But it's whichever one where you see the ship.
Yeah, the ship on sand.
On the sand.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty infamous scene from those movies.
Yeah.
But which, God, I think Tetsuya Nomura, the director of Kingdom Hearts, he said he wanted to try to push the hardware of the PlayStation 4 because Kingdom Hearts hasn't run on a system more powerful than the PlayStation 2, which is, I believe, a 5th or 6th generation console. Mm-hmm. And it is old. And other than that, it's been on like the 3DS, which is the newest one.
For sure. Like, that's like one of the things, like, just with seeing all the trailers and everything, the graphics look amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. And it's just amazing to see, like especially when you see, like, Toy Story. It's just, like, you have the movie, the movie Toy Story, and then you have, like, these graphics are better than the movie. It's just, like, right up there. It's amazing to see that.
And, like, Toy Story was Pixar's very first movie. Yeah. And, like, I watched it in the past year or so. From 1 to 3, obviously huge jumps in animation quality. Yeah. But even comparing from Toy Story 3 to Kingdom Hearts 3, Kingdom Hearts does it better.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's just impressive what they're doing. And, like, Tetsuya Nomura said he wanted, like, one live-action world in the game just to see what he could do with this hardware. And it looks photorealistic. And it's really shocking. I think they even adjust Sora's design to look more realistic, but still look cartoony, which works out pretty well.
For sure.
But other returning worlds that we know about, not returning worlds, but just worlds in general. Yeah.
They said Big Hero 6, Tangled,
Frozen.
That's the one that everyone's getting hyped up about the most, is Frozen.
Honestly, I don't know if it's because of the things I follow on social media, but like we just watched, more other Kingdom Hearts fans were getting excited not excited, but angry of what happened to Aqua in the trailer than Frozen.
In the actual world, for sure.
Like,
Aqua's one of the most beloved characters in the KH fan base, so it's just like,
I would say she is like arguably the number one.
Yeah, I'll probably say the most. If she's not number one, she's number two. Like, she's right there.
And, like, if anything, like, she's definitely just, like, the most beloved female character.
For sure. Definitely.
It's either her or, would you say it's Xion?
I would probably say Xion.
Or Kairi.
I would probably say Xion over Kairi. I think there's more, like, in terms of just, like, love for Xion.
You grow with her more than you do Kairi. Kairi is always in the background. Because Kairi is just, like, she was a damsel in distress, then damsel in distress again.
She's still damsel in distress, but then she gets the Keyblade. But you don't actually. She gets that one little fight scene where she just slashes some Shadow Heartless, and you're just like, but that's all you really see from it. It's like, and then you don't see her with the Keyblade again, until like right where you're like, oh, she's gonna go train with Lee.
And even I think it may have been Tracy actually when one of the very first trailers for Kingdom Hearts 2.8 came out, when they showed off 0.2, and you saw Kairi in Jensen's office room or whatever, and she was like, Master, I wanted to see what I could do. I wanted to come here to train. And like when Riku was saying, I guess we have to go save her, he was like, I'm just gonna do whatever. And then she's like, who's this new Riku and what did you do with the old one? And like the way she said it, it seemed off to me. Like it just feels like we haven't seen Kairi act any different than, oh, Sora, like, here's my good luck charm, Sora saved me, or Sora, like, I'm excited to see the new Kairi, but it was weird seeing that in 0.2.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, even that, it's one thing. It wasn't like that big of a scene, even that much, because it's a different character that we've seen from Kairi. Because you're finally starting to see Kairi. She's trying to become like a warrior that can like hang with Sora and Riku, but she's not there yet. So it's just like, but before that, she's always just been the damsel in distress and needed to get saved.
In which, the fact that their Market Master exam was this huge task compared to like the whole meal.
for like, it's just like when you have the Aqua and Terra, when they're doing the Market Masters, they're just literally hitting some balls around.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you. Also, I watched. I was watching like Everything Wrong With video, and it was like, oh, Terra, you failed the Market Mastery because you showed signs of darkness.
But he quelled it. Like, he squashed it.
Yeah, like he was like, oh, the darkness, but then he was like, oh no, I can't do this. Like, you think the fact that he can show control over darkness would make him want to pass?
You'd think you would think that it's just like, oh yeah, you let the darkness out, but you were able to like not let it control you and take over you. So like it seems like that's pretty good because everyone's going to be tempted by that. But
and everyone has darkness except for the Princess of Light.
Exactly.
And but at the same time, you can just say, he probably should have passed. But since Xehanort was with Ericus, he had the say and he knew what he wanted to do with Terra and take his body. So he's probably like, oh, he should have passed, but I'm going to tell him this because I want to manipulate him.
For sure, and that's what you saw the rest of that. Yeah. You know, that Birth by Sleep arc is just Terra getting manipulated without really even knowing.
Which is so sad.
Yeah.
Like, even like with Master Ericus, which, fun fact, Ericus is Square backwards. Yeah. Square Enix, the developers of Kingdom Hearts. And any other Disney fans, Yen Sid is Disney backwards. Yep. And I think there's something else like a little fancy with words. What are those called when they mix the words
anagrams.
The anagrams?
Yeah.
Other than like the organization.
Organization, yeah, all the organization members like Xehanort and all that.
Is Xehanort one? You would assume so because
is Xehanort no heart?
You're right. Yeah.
No heart.
Xehanort spells no heart, and I think there's a joke with Ansem being man sex.
Yeah, man sex.
Gosh. Yeah, and like that's the thing, they never mention that or say it, but I guess they
and that's something too with Shion. Shion's no one. Because it's no and then
I is the one.
Yeah.
I've never heard that, but that makes complete sense.
Yeah. Holy crap. That makes so much sense for a character.
Gosh. Yeah, just so many things like the number 13 is always brought back up. 13 Seekers of Darkness in Kingdom Hearts 3. People always mention in the very first Kingdom Hearts cutscene, the cinematic, you see Kingdom Hearts, the logo go up, and then it zooms in on the letter M, which M is the 13th letter in the alphabet. And I was like, that's a stretch, but
it's just like there are little subtle connections that like they aren't readily apparent. You gotta search for them. So it's like one of the things that's just like maybe they meant it. Like Tetsuya Nomura definitely has you digging with like some of the things that he's thought about. So it's just like
even everything in Birth by Sleep with the whole Ventus reach out to Sora for him to heal his heart and all this stuff, and why Vanitas looks like Sora because of that little piece of fragment of his heart and all this stuff that once you know it, because people always say the Kingdom Hearts story is very convoluted and confusing.
For sure. Like that's definitely like the two main things I hear that people say that why I won't get into the Kingdom Hearts series is like the convoluted story. For sure, and then the fact that it's on so many before the collections, there was just you needed so many different consoles in order to play it all. So it's just like there's people that like obviously like you can't like people that can't get the PS2, like the PS3, the 3DS, the DS, Game Boy,
so
PSP.
Let's go through all the games because we had Kingdom Hearts 1 when I was little. Yeah, we only had 1 and we had 2. We rented 2.
Yeah, I had 1. I had 1, but I actually didn't beat 1 when I was little. I got stuck on... Oh, my bad. I got stuck on the Riku fight.
And did you think that was like the end?
That's what I thought was the end. So I actually... Because it was me and my sister we played, and we were stuck on the Riku fight in Hollow Bastion, and I thought that was the end of the game. So I didn't play Kingdom Hearts again until high school, I think. And then I finally beat that fight, and the game wasn't over. And I was just like...
And you're playing like the original release of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I'm playing the original
1,
release.
so like you couldn't skip the cutscenes, and you kept dying, and that got annoying.
Yeah, so I'm just like... So then after that was when I got Kingdom Hearts 2, and that's when I really got into the series after that. I'm just like...
See, mine's a little different. When my brother and I, we played 1... We got stuck in the Coliseum, but I cannot remember what part of the Coliseum. Did you go early on?
Yeah.
And if it was like the first visit, then we just freaking sucked at video games because that's within like 2-3 hours of the game. But we rented 2, like I said. But what got me back into the series all these years later was in like 2013, I believe actually. I was at home and I randomly saw a YouTube video of like people talking about like Kingdom Hearts being in like this development hell in this limbo, and they showed the very first announcement trailer when Sora's running away from the Heartless swarm, and you see him pick up the Master Defender on Destiny Islands. I was like, I remember this series, and it made me look up more videos about Kingdom Hearts 3, and I realized how many games there were, which there were 7 games at the time. I'm like, what is this? And then I think the first collection on PS3 was at 1.5. And I bought that, and Quinta bought me a PS3 for my birthday that year. And I got in the series at the perfect time because after I beat 1.5, a week later 2.5 came out.
Nice.
And I beat that, and then I eventually bought all the DS and 3DS games that I couldn't play yet.
Yeah, so like for me, obviously, like I said, I got Kingdom Hearts 1, beat Kingdom Hearts 1 back in high school, then got Kingdom Hearts 2, but I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 2 until I think it might have been my freshman year of college, I think. Mm-hmm. And then I just played Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, and then that's when I looked at the list and saw all the games that there were. Yeah. Because Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out, and I'm like, I don't really know anything. So the next thing I think I played was Birth by Sleep, because I got an emulator, so I was just playing Birth by Sleep, because I didn't have a PS3, so I didn't get possession. So I just played Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, both on the original PlayStation 2. Then I got an emulator on my computer, and I played Birth by Sleep, and I played Days, and then I got an emulator on my phone in order to play Chain of Memories. So okay. that was the order I did. And then I don't remember, because I borrowed your 3DS in order to when I was playing Dream Drop.
Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah. And the only one that I've never played is Coded. I've just watched Coded.
I own it, and I've played most of it, a little more than halfway through. Mm-hmm. And then I think I let Quentin borrow the DS or something, and I gave him all the games I had for it, which Coda's gameplay's fun. The story's just really boring, which kind of makes the game a little bogged down.
Yeah. But this is just kind of running back through Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah. Which is, you can say the same thing about Chain of Memories, but Chain of Memories having the card-based combat system
it changes things.
Makes it more interesting, which some people, that makes them stray away from the series.
So, like, Chain of Memories, when I first played it, I absolutely hated it. Like, I think I just got to maybe like Agrabah before I dropped it. I'm like, I don't like this card-based thing. It's not fun for me. And I didn't finish Chain of Memories until I was borrowing your collections, and then I went back through and actually played it. And I liked it more on console than it was just on the Game Boy. Yeah. And I went through it. I'm like, okay, this is actually fun, but it's a lot more strategy than some of the other, because you know the famous just mashing
Sonic Blade.
Just no,
just slights.
Just slights. Yeah, mashing slights and everything. What you can do, and then just other Kingdom Hearts game where just like it's you have the X button, triangle button. That's really all you're pushing for if you don't really know how to play the game well.
He just did air
quotes. Air quotes, because there's just so many different things you can do besides just button mashing.
One thing you mentioned, like you played the original Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and some people say like that is like or 2 final mix on PS2 as well. People say that's like the definitive addition to play, because when they remastered it for the PS3 and PS4, they bumped the frame rate, I believe, to 60 frames rather than 30. And because of that, some of the bosses got broken a little bit. Specifically, the final boss with Xemnas in Kingdom Hearts 2, there's a command prompt to, when you get knocked in the air, you have to hit triangle to dodge his like weird spirally attack. Yeah. In Kingdom Hearts on the PS3, when you went to hit triangle, it just wouldn't work. You would do the move to dodge it, but you would still get hit.
Yeah, I saw that on like glitches about that.
And it definitely happened to me, but it never caused me to die. And a lot of people complain about that. They did fix it in the PS4 release. But like I've played all the games on the original console except for Chain of Memories. Mm-hmm. And then I beat them all on the PS3 collection. I 100% at 1 and 2. And then when they came on the PS4, I 100% at 1 again. And I got halfway through 2. And honestly, I don't think I've played the other ones on the PS4 because, like, I got a little burnt out. I'm like, I've played these games so many times.
So I haven't played. I haven't finished like all the final mix versions because I didn't have those versions. And if you don't know anything about Kingdom Hearts, they come out with these final mix versions, and they have extra stuff, and some in the game, some at the end game. A lot of it's the end game.
It's basically Kingdom Hearts with all the DLC.
Yeah. Pretty much, if you want to do it. So it's like there's some stuff like that happens in the game, but in terms of the actual story, it's not deviating much. But there'll be like extra final bosses at the end, some extra keyblades in the final mix versions that aren't in the normal versions. But in terms of story wise, you're not really missing out on much. There are some extra endings. Like Birth by Sleep has
the secret endings, you mean?
Well, not the secret. There's an extra ending in Birth by Sleep where you fight the Red Eye. What's it called? When Birth by Sleep, you get to fight as Aqua in the Realm of Darkness. That's not in the original Birth by Sleep. So
it kind of leads into 0.2.
Yeah, it leads into 0.2. So I didn't get to do that.
I think
obviously you have the Cabin of Remembrance, Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's definitely the best part they did in that.
Yes.
Game. And you can fight all the organization members, even the ones that aren't in Kingdom Hearts 2, again, from like Chain of Memories, which is the previous game.
Yeah, then once you beat all them, you get to fight Lingering Will.
Well, Lingering Will you can fight before Cavern. You fight him, you have to go to Disney Castle, and the little like circle thing in Disney Castle, you just... Actually, no, a portal opens. And you just go in that portal and you get transported to the Keyblade Graveyard. But yeah, the Cavern of Remembrance is in Hollow Bastion or Radiant Garden.
Yeah, Radiant Garden. And then you get the little crowns.
Yeah, and then they have in Kingdom Hearts 2, they have the Mushroom 13.
Yeah, Mushroom 13.
Which are just like almost like mini game things you have to do. Get X amount of hits on this enemy, juggle this enemy for 80 times or more. And then once you get all of them, they give you different equipment. And you can get a new Keyblade once you defeat all 13. And you get, like you said, like your silver crown. And once you defeat Lingering Will, you get the gold crown. And I think the bronze crown is from the Cavern of Remembrance, maybe?
Maybe. I'm not too familiar with the Final Mix version, so I can't completely say things about that.
In Kingdom Hearts 1, you have the fight against...
You have to fight young Xehanort.
There's young Xehanort in Hollow Bastion. There's Kurt Ziza.
Kurt Ziza's in the original game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. What about the Phantom?
Phantom's in the original game and Neverland.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then it just might
But the Phantom, I think the Phantom fight is different in the Final Mix version. Like, there's like one extra thing he does. And I know he has a different cloak, because in the Final Mix version, he's not all dark. He's got like a white
cloak.
Yeah, a white cloak. And
they definitely recolored some of the enemies and the Heartless in the games.
Yeah.
The Final Mix versions and everything. And we're just rambling about whatever comes to mind about the series.
Yeah, there's just so much to talk about with Kingdom Hearts.
We were talking about the story being convoluted, and that's definitely one thing people say. One, people are turned away because it's Disney.
Yeah,
they're like, why do I want to play a kids game? Why?
Yeah,
Donald and Goofy are running around.
That's definitely one of the things that you think. So when you first see Kingdom Hearts, you're just like, okay, trying to describe Kingdom Hearts to someone who has never heard of Kingdom Hearts before it's hard to do.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, you're
without sounding weird.
Without sounding weird. So you play as this kid Sora who travels with Donald Duck and Goofy from Disney. Yes,
Goofy dog.
Goofy dog. And you're just like, and then as soon as you get to that point, you're just like, so this is for 5-year-olds, right?
And the second you start explaining it too out loud, you're like, this sounds so weird and stupid. You're like, oh god.
But then it's just like, once you explain the game, it's like so in depth, and there's so much more into it. That's like even playing it as a kid when I was young versus playing it now. There's so many subtle things that kids are not aware of at all is happening. Like, you're just like, as a kid, like, oh, let me just beat these Heartless, and that's really all this is to it. But then there's so much deeper stuff that's going on.
Even rewatching, some people play because I beat it, got in love with the series. Like Tracy beat Kingdom Hearts 1 entirely with me, and just watching her replay it and seeing, because they obviously didn't have the whole story plan from the get go, but then seeing some cutscenes that lead to things even from the very first game, you're like, huh. Like, it's interesting how they incorporate it all. Sure. And even the way I usually describe Kingdom Hearts to people is like, I think they even mentioned it, how Tetsuya Nomura kind of came up with the idea. Because for anyone who doesn't know and who's still actually listening to this, Kingdom Hearts actually came to fruition from an elevator ride where one of the Square Enix and Disney used to work in the same building, and then they were on an elevator ride, and the topic got brought up about a new IP coming to PlayStation, and they wanted Mickey Mouse to be the main protagonist, and then someone else wanted Donald Duck. They argued about that, but they decided to make an original character. That character ended up being Sora, and definitely Sora's original design was very much inspired by Mickey Mouse.
He's like a lion. I think he's like a lion.
He was like a lion boy with like a chainsaw blade as a weapon.
Yeah.
But like he always had like the big yellow shoes, the red jumper like Mickey, and white gloves. And his design changed a lot since then, but like that's how it started. And they said they wanted a game that would relate to Disney fans, so they put Disney characters and worlds in the game. And they also wanted to relate to Final Fantasy fans. So originally the story was really simple, but then since they wanted to tailor more to Final Fantasy in that aspect, they made it slightly more complicated.
Yeah. Which, one thing I will say, which is kind of disappointing with the Kingdom Hearts series, is they don't touch on that Final Fantasy side as much as I think they should.
I wish they did.
Yeah, because it's like, other than just seeing the characters, they don't really interact with the player that much. They're not really in any meaningful way, and you don't visit any of the worlds that they're from, like you do with all the Disney characters. So if they would bring, like, one thing people really wanted to have in Kingdom Hearts 3 was to have like a Final Fantasy world.
Mm-hmm. Who knows? Maybe they might throw one out there. That would be amazing.
It would be.
At this point, I feel like the Kingdom Hearts series is known for just Disney worlds.
Same, and then the original Kingdom Hearts worlds. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like, there aren't any Final Fantasy worlds, and I don't really think there are too many plans to actually integrate a Final Fantasy world into.
And definitely for the first game, the first few, the Final Fantasy characters, I feel like were more just like a segue to get people interested.
Yes, I would agree. Like, what Kingdom Hearts 1, what do they do? Like, you had
Tidus or Titus, Selphie, and Wakka.
And they're just on Destiny Islands, and you just train with them for a little bit before they're just completely gone from the story.
Like the first hour of the game, and that's it.
Yeah, they're just there in like the tutorial section, and then after that, you don't see them again, and then you land in Traverse Town. And you got a Squall, but he's known as Leon in this game.
Which I don't know why they changed the name of the character from Final Fantasy VIII, but who knows?
Yeah, and then Sid, Yuffie, Aerith. I think that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Sid's in almost all.
I think he's in every single Final Fantasy game since 6, 5. I don't know.
I'm not sure which one he started.
Yeah,
but he's in most of them.
He's in most of them.
But they got the fan favorites. Like Cloud is in there, but he's like a edgy, like Vincent Valentine type person. Which I think his outfit in Kingdom Hearts 1 was based off of Vincent Valentine, and his outfit in Kingdom Hearts 2 was his Advent Children outfit. But people I know were hoping that Noctis would be in it, although that game came out in 2015. Who knows? Could still happen. Yeah. Just a little cameo. Sephiroth is a secret boss. In two of the games?
Yeah.
1 and 2?
1 and 2. You get what Zack shows up in Birth by Sleep.
It's like young Zack, which you showed me something messed up. It's like Zack's character, Birth by Sleep, tells Aqua that they're going to go on a date when they're older. But for anyone who knows anything about Final Fantasy VII, the infamous big Buster Sword that Cloud uses is actually Zack's, and Zack dies, and the Cloud inherits it. So this thing was like, is Aqua going to come out of the realm of darkness, just go on this date with Zack, and then she finds out he's dead? I'm like, oh shit. Like, that's really messed up. Which is probably going to happen because Cloud's in the game with the Buster Sword. Yeah. Zack's nowhere to be found. Yeah. Aqua's 10 years younger. Like, oh, come on. He has to be dead. Oh, God. But yeah, I keep you insider. The Kingdom Hearts story is convoluted, but I don't know if convoluted is exactly the right word. Because once you know, if you
the thing is the main thing with the Kingdom Hearts series when it comes to the story is that the order the games came out are nowhere near the order that it actually takes place, like chronological order that the series takes place. So it's just like you're just trying to like piece together things. So it's just like And then the fact that the numbering system is weird. So like if you just play Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, and then you expect to play Kingdom Hearts 3 and know what's going on,
boy,
you won't know anything.
I actually, one of Tracy's friends, and she'll know, probably Pat too, will know who I'm talking about. I met her 3-4 years ago, maybe. And like we were talking about games and movies and stuff, and she found out I was a big Kingdom Hearts fan. She's like, "Oh, Kingdom Hearts, I love that series." And like it's just like it's like a meme at this point in the Kingdom Hearts community. Mm-hmm. Where like, "Oh, Kingdom Hearts 3's come out. I played 1 and 2." That's exactly what she did. She was like, "Oh my god, I love Kingdom Hearts. Like I played 1 and 2 when I was little. Like when's 3 coming?" And the second she said that, Tracy looked at me. I looked at her, and she was like, "Yeah," which she explained to me like she like likes to be a part of like things and like try to be interested, but she just didn't know what she was talking about. I just played along like, "Oh, that's cool, yeah, and I think Tracy like laughed. She's like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "Nothing." And Tracy was like, "Oh, well, this," and she, "Oh, tell me about it." I was like, "You don't want me to tell you."
It's like it'll take a long time. Like that's a long conversation to have.
And funny thing enough, at the I was at a wedding last weekend, and I was in the sauna with a few people, and then everyone ended up leaving. It was just me and this like one guy. And then after we got out, he asked me about my tattoo, and I think previously I was talking about Kingdom Hearts or something. I mentioned something about Kingdom Hearts. Mm-hmm. He was like, "Oh, like tell me about Kingdom Hearts." I was like, "You don't want to get on that topic.
You don't want to. That's going down that road. It's a long story.
Like I know I can talk about it for a while, just rambling."
Yeah.
And I was like, "No, you don't want to." He's like, "No, like really, like tell me about it." Because I know how it came up. He said, "Are you excited for Kingdom Hearts 3?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm so excited." And like I just wanted to drop it because I knew it would go on. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, "Oh, like what are you like expecting from it? Are you nervous or anything?" And so I think what I said to him was, "I'm really excited for Kingdom Hearts 3, but I'm slightly worried of what they're gonna do with some of the characters like Aqua being in the realm of darkness," and I like just named a few characters like Shion and Roxas, and I just like dropped it there, like a quick 1-minute answer.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, you're a bigger fan than I am because I didn't know some of the characters you mentioned."
Yeah, and you're just like, those are major characters, and it's just like if you don't know who they are, then you're not ready for Kingdom Hearts 3.
But then after that, he asked me, he's like, "Can you tell me more about it?" I was like, "You don't want me to. It's gonna be a while." He's like, "No, I want to know everything." I was like, "No." He's like, "Please." So I talked to him about it, and I was a little drunk at this when we were at the sauna, and then I just rambled, and he just listened to it all, and he got really excited actually, and he went and bought the collection.
Oh dang!
To play it all.
That's actually really impressive because like. You know, usually if you go down that train with people and you're like, it scares them away more than anything. It's just like, because, you know, I had the same thing where you meet people that have played like, maybe they just play Kingdom Hearts 1 or they play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and then they see Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out. They're like, "Oh, I remember this game. I want to get back in the series. How much do I need to know?" And then I'm just like, all right, so like, what games have you played? And they're like, "You know, I play Kingdom Hearts 1, so it shouldn't be too much because, you know, you're assuming Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. And then you're just like, "Oh, no. You poor soul." Like, it's like, and then they're just like, what do you need to know? And you're just like, it's the same thing. It's just like, how long do you have? Because it'll take a while to actually explain everything in order for you to understand.
Which, what I have explained it to people when I'm at a computer, I just like show them a timeline, or go to Kingdom Hearts' website where it shows all the games. And again, I know whoever's listening is probably a friend, or they actually like the series. But if anyone's still listening who is not into Kingdom Hearts, the games are named really weird. We've been mentioning 1, 2, and 3, but that's not the whole story.
Yeah, that's not even near the whole story.
If we are going in chronological order, the game starts. There is the Kingdom Hearts Key. Japanese server browser game only. That ended. There is Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key. That is a mobile game on Japanese and American servers. Then that game got changed into Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. And then there is a movie, Kingdom Hearts back cover, which in Union Cross there are factions and there's faction leaders, and back cover is a movie about those leaders. And that is the entire Union Cross Key saga. And that happened hundreds or thousands, we don't know, years before the very first Kingdom Hearts game, Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah. So then you have Kingdom Hearts 1 comes, and then you have 2 games that take place simultaneously. But then also at the same time that all this is happening, you have another game that came out way later in 0.2, which is taking place kind of towards the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. And then you go into 358 over 2 days, and Chain of Memories, which is taking place simultaneously.
You miss Birth by Sleep.
I can't do this.
So Birth by Sleep is before Kingdom Hearts 1. 10
How
years
did I miss
before
Birth by Sleep?
10 years before Kingdom Hearts 1. And then everything Justin said with Kingdom Hearts 1, while simultaneously 0.2, Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
Then there's 2 simultaneous games.
Yeah, and rewrite over 2 days, Chain of Memories. Oh, bro, this timeline thing.
And after those 2 games is Kingdom Hearts 2, and then Kingdom Hearts Recoded, and Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. And then finally, we have Kingdom Hearts 3. And that is 7 full games.
If you want to be technical too, 0.2 also takes place during this time.
Oh my god, you're right. You are freaking right. 0.2 is during Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 1 and right after 358.
Yeah.
Or, God,
Right after
3D.
Right after 3D.
Jeez. This story. So yes, there are 7 full playable games. One people call a tech demo for Kingdom Hearts 3. But if you buy all the collections are all the games playable. They are Kingdom Hearts 1.5. I'm not even going to get into that.
Now you get the 1.5, and then you get 1.5, 2.5, and then 2.8 for whatever reason.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because
it makes sense, but
because
they were like, oh, why is it not 2.75?
Right?
Why is it not 2.9? And you have Birth by Sleep 0.2. Is that they just subtracted 3 minus 0.2 to make 2.8? Is that what they did?
But then there's a cutscene. The very last cutscene in 0.2 is called 2.9. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you guys, come on. Which they made 0.2 because they said the prologue for Kingdom Hearts 3 was too long.
Yeah.
So they wanted to put that in a separate standalone thing. Which kind of makes sense, but no one's going to complain about a long game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, people did say for Kingdom Hearts 2, like the prologue was too long with the Roxas stage.
I think it was too long, but
it was too long, but I enjoy it.
I didn't like it my first playthrough. I learned to like it though.
I will agree with that. First playthrough, it's because the first playthrough you don't know who Roxas is, and you're just like,
I just want to get to Sora.
Yeah, you just want to get you're when you first play through, you're like, who is this? Why isn't this Sora? Like that's what it is. You're just like, I don't know who Roxas is. I don't know why I should care about who Roxas is until the big reveal.
And not only that, it's more so
you're doing fetch quests.
The mini games you're doing, they weren't fun, in my opinion. Some people like those type of mini games, but
I like the what's the struggle.
The struggle fight.
The struggle fight. That was fun. And then I like the juggling mini game, but I didn't like the mail delivery or the poster one. Those were
they're just like, I think even when because I haven't sped run Kingdom Hearts 2, but like I try to get through it as fast as I can, but not doing like any kind of cheats or whatever. The fastest I've gotten through the prologue is maybe 40 to 50 minutes.
Which is honestly really fast for the prologue.
Yeah, like my very first time.
I think my first time for the
3
prologue.
hours.
Yeah, it was like 3-4 hours.
Yeah,
maybe longer.
Which I don't know if the in-game timer in Kingdom Hearts counts the cutscenes.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
But I know if you just pause the game, it continues the clock down, which I don't like.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But that's one thing about Kingdom Hearts 2 has a lot of cutscenes, and yeah, it's what you said. We looked it up before as well. Was it like 13 hours or something of cutscenes
on YouTube? If you watch a video just with cutscenes, it's 13 hours and 9 minutes.
Yeah, and that's just the cutscenes. It's not even gameplay. So
I think Kingdom Hearts 1 was like 3 hours and like some change.
Yeah, and that was a nice thing going into Kingdom Hearts 2 was if you played the original Kingdom Hearts 1 like I did, the cutscenes weren't skippable. So
that's true. Yeah.
when you went to Kingdom Hearts 2, so it's like in some fights you have a big long cutscene before a fight, and you would have to you die, you have to rewatch this cutscene, and you're the whole time you're just mad because you died, and you're just like, I know this happens. Like by the time I can quote this cutscene because I've had to listen to it so many times.
They definitely added the being able to skip it is a nice plus.
Nice, yeah. And then having the theater too, being able to go back and see things when you want is nice.
It is nice, but yeah, just the series, the story. Once you know it all, once you pay attention, maybe ask a friend, watch a YouTube video. Mm-hmm. It's not that confusing to keep track of it all. It's just a lot to keep track of. Yeah. And trying to explain it just makes it sound even more confusing. You just have to experience it.
For sure. Then one thing I do like about the Kingdom Hearts games is obviously that in-game content. You get rewarded if you go try to play on a hard difficulty. Like if you're trying to play on proud or critical.
Like for the ending.
So it's it honestly doesn't matter too much for most of the games other than just getting extra balls. Birth by Sleep, it really matters. The ending to Birth by Sleep is completely different. If you just go with the base game, if you just play it on normal and just beat it, you don't try to 100%. Versus if you play on a proud or critical mode or you 100% it, but the ending's different. It's really important to know.
I will say Birth by Sleep is the most important one when it comes to the secret ending.
Yes, I would agree.
It's the most confusing because for Birth by Sleep, there's a trio: Rox, Ventus, Aqua, and Terra. And you play as all three of them. You have 3 different save files if you're smart. Mm-hmm. And you have to get certain collectibles in each save file to get the secret ending. And that can be a little confusing for people who don't know that.
Yeah. Because every other game, you obviously, other than 3D, you just really only play as one person.
And even in 3D, you can easily just do one save file.
Yeah, you can do one save file because you can drop. But that's the only one where you really need to have 3 separate save files.
Yeah. It's just a lot. And then you have to find certain Ansem files and whatnot. And the best weapon in the game is called the Ultimate Weapon.
Yeah, and that's standard in every game. That's the last Keyblade you get. And it's just...
Well, you have to unlock it.
You have to unlock it.
The first Kingdom Hearts 1, biggest pain in the ass to get, from having to defeat certain enemies a certain way to doing certain mini games and getting the high score. And sometimes it's RNG if they'll drop it, even if you get the high score you need. Yeah. And it's just constant running back and forth, and it's the drop rate for some items. Sometimes it's just defeat this one enemy.
I think the final mix version, the recipe's different than the original version.
It is. It's a little easier, but it's still not easy.
Yeah. There's one thing you have to juggle one of the Moogles at least 100 hits in order to get one of the items to drop, and even that's not a guaranteed drop, and it's just
the most annoying one are the white mushrooms.
Yeah, the white mushrooms.
And you have to cast a certain spell on them. And one of them you have to cast Stop Braga, whatever the highest stop spell is. And you have to get at least 80 hits on it. So you have to do a certain combo with certain abilities.
That's a final mix only thing.
Okay. Yeah. And then you have to people use Ragnarok, and you get a lot of hits in that, and that's annoying. The wizards in the Kingdom Hearts series, they drop certain items in one that you need for the Ultimate Weapon, but they drop it for
to really
2.5%.
I think it's lower than that.
It might be.
I think it's lower.
I was originally going to say 0 point something.
I think it's point something. Yeah.
But just having to go back and forth from room to room, hoping they'll drop it once you defeat them, is so aggravating. And I've 100% Kingdom Hearts 1 twice, and doing it the second time was so hard.
Yeah, it's really tedious. It's one of those things. If you want 100% it, you want to have the Ultimate Weapon, you gotta do. They make it a lot easier in Kingdom Hearts 2 than Kingdom Hearts 1.
In 2, you just need all synthesized weapon or items, which you just need to get once. Yeah. And then it's just defeat this enemy one time, and they'll drop it basically. And it's pretty simple. And you get most of the items just by playing the game. Yeah. With 1 is really crafting it, and it really feels like a grind fest
for sure.
Did you listen to the one podcast episode me and Ben did talking about our games, and I talked about Kingdom Hearts a little bit?
Yeah, I listened to a little bit of it. I didn't listen to the whole thing because I ran out of time.
Did you listen to the part where I was talking about the combat system?
Yes.
Okay. Did you agree with that at all?
I agree, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because Who was I talking to? I don't remember who I was talking to, but they basically said the same thing you said earlier. Like, oh, it's just hit X, hit triangle, hit X.
Yeah, it's just like that's what generally is what you think. It's just X, triangle, and whatever you have your magic set up as. But there's a whole lot more things that you can do beside that.
I will say, I remember like when you're just playing on my Kingdom Hearts save file, and you're so used to your magic shortcuts.
Yeah.
And when you have Thunder to a different button than you're used to, it completely throws everything
off.
off.
It throws everything. It's like that's almost out of every video game though, where you have keybinds, where it's just like you have your own keybinds that you're used to, and it's just like because you kind of have like a way that you you have your keybinds, and then you have a certain combo you might want to use with that attack.
Muscle memory.
And it's just muscle memory. That's what you do, and then not having that is just like oh no.
But it's also different from like playing something on. Like, I'm just going to say Overwatch, your button for your ultimate is Q by default, but some people change it to something else. But with, like, Kingdom Hearts, it's like, you have, like, at least in all the Kingdom Hearts games except for 3, it seems like it's going to be, you can only fit 3 magic spells on there.
Yeah.
And sometimes the magic spell you want might not even be on the
sure.
shortcut. You're like,
so it's just like,
you don't have Thunder here?
Why
so you
not?
have to go into the menu to do it, or the command deck, or whatever it's called. But yeah, 3 looks like you can actually scroll through multiple pages. That's gonna be so helpful.
Because it's kind of like you're finally playing with like a Keyblade Master Sora. So what you saw on really the only Keyblade Master we played as was Aqua in 0.2, and you could just see how much more powerful her spells were with just what she had. They didn't give her everything like. Sora's probably gonna have a lot more different spells.
Well, you had Blizzard, Fire, and Thunder.
Thunder,
that was it.
yeah, that was it. But just casting it, you could just see how much stronger everything was, and it was just really amazing to see that.
And that definitely has to do with just the new engine, because even when in 3D or 2, when you get a higher spell, like say a higher Thunder spell, it's just more so the radius gets larger, and like maybe a few more Thunder shocks go down, but like. In 0.2 and in like the gameplay of 3, it looks so good.
Like it was just like
very flashy.
For example, like when you you have like a fire spell, so you just shoot your fireball out. That's
exciting stuff.
Yay! But then when you're flying 0.2, like you shoot like a giant fireball, it like has a big explosion that like surrounds you and everything, and it's just like
you can see the particle effects slowly engulf the enemy. Which my favorite thing to do in 0.2 was to use Blizzard or Blizzaga, and you actually freeze the enemies.
Yeah, you freeze the enemies,
and like they just freeze in place, and you can actually just break them if they're low on health.
Yeah, that's one thing I like to see. And then Kingdom Hearts 3, you see a trails where like they use Blizzard and it freezes the ground, so that you could go into like a flow motion effect on that, and it's just like.
Which they keep changing the names and stuff, so it was flow motion, but now it's going to be called attraction flow.
Yeah.
Or is it athletic flow?
I think it's attraction flow.
I think athletic flow is like one of the shot lucks.
I think so.
And then they changed the name of something else. The rides. What are the rides called? Or those
or they might have been attraction flow rides. Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many different things, and they're not called drive forms anymore. They're just the Keyblade transformations.
Yeah, the Keyblade transformations.
But they're basically drive forms.
They're drive forms. Yeah.
Like they called it second form. But it's not. It's just the Keyblade transformation for the Kingdom Key. Gosh, which the Keyblade. Okay, nearing the end of this, I want to just strictly talk about Kingdom Hearts 3. The Keyblade Aqua picks up in the Realm of Darkness is a Keyblade we've never seen before.
You know, it looks kind of like the Star Seeker.
It looks like a mixture of the Star Seeker and the Kingdom Key. Yeah. So like it has like the Kingdom Key hilt, but at the actual blade or shaft is like do you think that's good? Like people had this theory Sora has the Kingdom Key of the Realm of Light. Mickey went to the Realm of Darkness to find the Kingdom Key D, Kingdom Key Darkness. Is that the Kingdom Key of the Realm of In-Between? People have this theory that there is some kind of Realm of In-Between. And of all people, maybe Aqua found it, or Riku, I would assume, because Riku's all in the Walk of Twilight and stuff.
So I haven't heard that theory, but it's definitely possible.
Not specifically with that Keyblade, but just that if there might be a third.
Yeah. But it's just kind of like seeing just how, like, you have, like, the Kingdom Key of Darkness, Kingdom Key of Light, pretty much, and then it's just having a blade that's because they're the only blade that's the keyblades that look like that.
And the colors are inverse.
Yeah.
So like maybe the Kingdom Key doesn't have blue on. It does have blue on.
Yeah, it does.
God. Like, maybe. Like, but yeah, like that. All the Keyblades we've seen in all the trailers have been Keyblades you can unlock from the world, the themed world. But that's the only Keyblade that's like, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
And there's stars on it too. And then some people are thinking, what if it's just like a skin for it or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
And no, it has to be. Because that Keyblade Aqua picks up, it has a Mickey Mouse keychain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the hilt is yellow. The keychain is yellow. It has to be something related to the Kingdom Key.
It's gotta, yeah.
Oh, I just read this Yen Sid's Keyblade. We've never seen this.
We've never seen his Keyblade. We know he's a Keyblade master, but we've never seen his Keyblade.
But yeah, the fact that it has a Mickey Mouse keychain. Oh man, this game is gonna hurt me. Anyway, so Kingdom Hearts 3. What are you most excited for?
There's so many things that I'm really excited for. Like, you have things as simple as just, obviously just getting a new game. Like, just in general, like finally getting Kingdom Hearts 3, because it's been since 2013 since it got revealed. And finally, I want to see how this all just plays into each other. Like, there are questions that I have that aren't going to get answered. I already know that. Like the box.
The black box.
The box. That's probably going to be the next saga after.
Which is so annoying.
Yeah, which is really annoying. So, yay, Kingdom Hearts. Tatsuya Nomura, you did it again. But like I said, there's some simple things where we just want like the world, seeing all the worlds with the graphics, absolutely loving all the graphics. But I just seeing how everything just ties in. I just want to see the battle between the seekers, the seekers of darkness and the seekers of light. So I want to see how that final battle goes. That's been alluded to for so long. Finally seeing that will be amazing.
Which they said in the trailer, there's like when they go through all like the quick scenes, there's a little scene where you see Donald, Sora's feet, and then Mickey on the right, and they're like, "Oh, that's Xanover in the distance. You can barely see him, but that's him right there." And I'm not sure if that's true or not, but hey, who knows?
That just hurts to see. It just hurts to see Dark Aqua.
Aquanort,
Dark Aqua, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah, that Birth by Sleep Tree is terrible. So that's what you're most excited for. What are you most worried about with Kingdom Hearts 3?
Honestly, the thing I'm most worried about is them revealing too much information before it comes out. Like, I don't think they're going to, but like, it's just like the amount of trailers and content that they've released. That's what I'm worried about, is just being spoiled. But
I get that. See,
in terms of the actual game, like, there hasn't been a Kingdom Hearts game that's like let me down. So I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, maybe it won't live up to the hype, but I think it will.
I think it will. I know before, like when it was still in early development, a lot of people were worried because it was the Osaka team creating the game, which created Birth by Sleep, and people always complain about floaty combat, quotes floaty, where like in Kingdom Hearts 2, when you like jump and hit attack, you like feel the gravity
For sure.
and it's quicker and faster. Where some of the games feel a lot slower, which 0.2 you felt that little slowness, like I personally did.
Yeah,
but it was still fun to play.
Exactly.
And of what I've seen of 3, it seems like a nice in between.
What I like, and the main thing I'm liking about 3 with that stuff too is that the environment feels a lot more fluid. Like it's with you instead of just having everything just be rigid and then just the enemies and you. So it's just like just seeing things as simple as you cast like a arrow spell and it picks up wind and you see like the grass move with it and stuff like that where maybe the combat will still be floaty because some of the trailers the combat has looked a tad floaty,
right?
But just stuff like that where it's just aesthetically it's more aesthetically pleasing. It gives you a bigger feel for like what's happening. I think will help combat that.
Well, I will say like just from when they let people play the game early, when you're running up the walls in the Olympus world and like the Toy Store world, the toy box, it looked really janky.
Yeah, I would agree.
You could only run up, left, or right.
Yeah,
no like diagonal or anything. But, like that's one small thing because I doubt there's gonna be many sections where you can do that.
Like that's not gonna be like a core combat mechanic. So I'm not really too worried about that. Like okay, it might be awkward for this one part, but that's not gonna be like a game breaking thing.
Yeah. And as far as just like other things I'm like worried about, you mentioned getting spoiled too much, and even Tetsuya Nomura said like when Aqua was revealed to be Norded, he was like, "Yeah, I didn't expect to get that kind of reaction out of the community. I was expecting people to be excited about Frozen being announced, but no one talked about Frozen."
It was like one of those things. It's like Frozen was almost assumed to already be in Kingdom Hearts 3, so it was just like kind of like that confirmation thing, and it was that confirmation thing, and then Aqua getting Norded.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, cool, we were expecting this."
Like it was kind of like. Because it's
like why wouldn't they have the #1 animated movie in the world?
Yeah, for sure. Then Aqua getting Norded was just like because Aqua's so loved, and she's always been the light character. She was the light one. Like, and seeing her succumb to darkness, like anyone could now.
Which and also at the same time, I think Nomura also said he was shocked that people were shocked because he was like, I thought it was pretty obvious that she could have been turning her way to the dark.
It's like looking back at it, it's very obvious.
Like 0.2 the entire time she's fighting with herself.
Yeah, she's been fighting for herself, and then she's been in that realm of darkness for so long. 10 years at least. Longer could be longer because we don't know how time flows in the realm of darkness.
Yeah, longer for her most likely. Yeah. I'm assuming.
And then with. But then and we were literally told in Dream Drop Distance that there was already one of the people on Mickey's list that was already Xehanort's, and everyone at that time just thinks he's talking about Terra,
right? Because
if you know Birth by Sleep, you know what happened to Terra.
But at the same time, is Terra technically a darkness because his body is, but not his mind?
Yeah, not his mind. So
I don't know.
We don't know.
And like the whole scene that they talk about at the orchestra concert that the voice actor for Naminé told Terra saying, "Hey, stay strong, someone's coming for you." Anyway, what I'm worried about, I'm not too worried about being spoiled too much. Like it seems crazy that they're showing so much, but the fact that the game is going to be as long as they said it is going to be with other side stuff and closing these loose ends, I feel like just the announcement of the darknesses isn't even a big spoiler. The big spoiler would be like, here's who's fighting at the Keyblade graveyard. Here is this character doing this. But like we've only seen the world, just the worlds, the characters in the worlds, which once the world's announced, you know what character's going to be in it. The only thing is what Kingdom Hearts 3 seems to be doing is each world seems to have their own organization member. So, like, Frozen is Larksheen.
I mean, that's kind of something that they've done. They did in Kingdom Hearts 2 as well, where you really only had, like, one organization member in the world. If you ran into an organization member in that world, it was just one of them, so...
Like, like, Chain of Memories, like, you ran into all them because you were in the Castle
of Oblivion. Yeah, you're in the Castle of Oblivion.
But, Larksheen is Frozen. Zigbar seems to have... What world was Zigbar in?
Vanitas has Toy Story. Or not.
Vanitas is Monsters
Inc. Yeah, and then Toy Story's Young Xehanort.
And then Marluxia is Tangled.
Yeah.
And I really can't...
Luxord is Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes. I can't remember Zigbar. We've seen him, but I don't know if he's... I can't remember the background.
I can't... was it in a world? Was it in a... It might have been in, like... Just a...
Let's find out real fast. Because I know he's in this.
Because it might have just been
the Keyblade Graveyard
Twilight
or something.
Town. Yeah. What was it?
Twilight Town,
Yeah, that's not even thing. I think it was just Twilight Town.
And then Ansem and Zemna seem to be together in all the trailers as
Yeah.
well in Twilight Town. But Twilight Town is probably just a place
It's kind
where
of like a
they
hub.
meet.
Yeah.
But who knows? What I'm most excited for with Kingdom Hearts 3, just everything to get, not everything, but the conclusion.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Where I want to see the Keyblade.
The
Keyblade
conclusion to the Xehanort saga. And one thing I don't want, I guess you could say I'm worried about this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Xehanort to come back in any way. Because this is not the last Kingdom Hearts game. And they said Sora is still going to be the main protagonist. If for whatever reason, when the game ends, Xehanort's defeated or is trapped or whatever, where he can't do anything to the characters, I don't want there to be any kind of teaser of him, like a remnant of him flying into the distance. I want him to be completely dead, completely locked away, completely gone somehow.
Yeah, now the one thing, obviously, I do want to see with Xehanort is, his Keyblade has a backstory.
Yes, yeah.
We need to know that backstory. And that backstory will tie in to the future games.
That's the only thing that may be like, Xehanort's always around, because the Keyblade's been there since the ancient times.
Yeah.
Since the very, very long ancient times of the Key and Union Cross days. And young Xehanort doesn't have a Keyblade. No. He uses he has a Keyblade.
He has a Keyblade.
But he's used a Keyblade that's not Master Xehanort's.
Yeah.
Or is it just no name? People have been calling it.
Yeah, no name.
Or he's these that's Zemnis.
Zemnis uses the lightsabers. Yeah.
But it's just like, why did he start using this? How did he upgrade his Keyblade?
Yeah.
Like, one other person we've seen do that is Riku, but he never had a Keyblade.
He never had a Keyblade. He had a sword.
Yeah. So, and also they never explained that he has Soul Eater in the beginning of Dream Drop, and then all of a sudden it turns into Way to Dawn.
Yeah.
Like, they never explain that at all. It just says it transformed, which,
because they always made that be like such a big distinction. How Riku was supposed to have the Keyblade, but he gave into darkness, so Sora got it.
And then like the whole lingering eye or whatever they call it,
the eye that was in, and there's the eye on Riku, the Soul Eater, and
the Soul Eater. Where else is the eye? It's on young Xehanort's Keyblade.
It's on young Xehanort's, yeah. I want them to explain the Keyblade was one of the 2015 Jump Festa trailer where you see young Xehanort and Eric is playing the chess game that relates to everything. You see it on the wall in the Land of Departure. So it's just kind of like, if they don't explain that, I will be mad. Yeah. So the Xehanort getting that Keyblade could be one of the first scenes in Kingdom Hearts 3, because we know that opening scene is going to be with Xehanort and Ericus.
0.2, when it opened up, which I always forget about this because it was such a brief scene, you see Lucio with the box with Xehanort's Keyblade, and you see him looking at looks like the artificial Kingdom Hearts from Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
Do you think Lucio is Xehanort? Do you think...
So there's definitely some connection there. Like, we obviously, between that, whether Lucio is Xehanort...
Or a descendant, or Xehanort's a descendant of
I'm
him.
not sure.
Who's the Master of Masters?
Yeah. So it's just like... No one really knows. So it's just like... But, like, Lucio and Xehanort obviously have some sort of connection. Like, I think that much is...
Would you say Lucio does, or the Master of Masters in Xehanort? Because the Master of Masters, that was his Keyblade. He just gave it to Lucio.
It's his eye on the Keyblade, so it's just like... the thing is, Lucio... I don't know. It's confusing, and then that's where the box thing ties in that I talked about for like a split second earlier.
Like, what's the box? What's in the box? Like, what if it's his soul? I'm like, that's stretching, but it's Kingdom Hearts, so who knows?
Yeah.
God, so much. And they even said the box is not going to be explained.
Yeah, that's what he said. So that's why I'm just like, So you know that the next saga is going to be something about, like, the Master of Masters leaves you in the box. Like, you know that's what the next saga is going to be about after Kingdom Hearts 3, after the Xehanort saga is done.
Yeah. And I want them to explain, I hope they have to explain this because it wouldn't make sense if it was in the next saga. I guess it kind of could, but Marluxia. Marluxia and Ventus, their relation from present day to Union Cross.
Yeah.
How are they still around? How are they alive? What are they doing?
Yeah.
What is Marluxia's purpose? Because he wanted to make a new organization, but now he's with Xehanort.
Yeah, it's just like, what?
And like, why are all of the original organization members? Why do they not have white hair? They have the yellow Xehanort eyes, but not the white hair.
Yeah, so it's just like, who knows? It's confusing at this point. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions that hopefully they'll all be answered. Yeah, and it's just like, and that's the thing too. It's just like, so since we're bringing back these organization members, like, are they all back? Or just some of them back? Like, what do we know about that? Like, could some of the organization members, like the ex-organization members that aren't in the final 13, could they be good? Could they be bad? Like, who knows?
Well, it looks like, what we've never, when all the nobodies came back and became their somebody self, Saïx dipped and joined Xehanort because Lee mentions that. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, it looks like we all were transported to where we first became nobodies. And Saïx wasn't there. And you find out later, he's Xehanort. But then there is Ienzo.
Yeah, Ienzo's working in the lab.
He seems to be a good guy because he was talking to Sora or Data, everyone else. So he seems to be good, but we haven't seen Vexen since he died in Chain of Memories. And he was a crazy scientist, and who knows, maybe he is back because Rikupla is there. Yeah. And possibly Xion, because he created both of them.
Yeah, 'cause I'm interested to see what they do with Xion. Like, if she comes back.
Because if she comes back, do the people regain their memories of her?
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's one of those things where I almost don't want Xion to be back.
I think Xion and Roxas shouldn't come back.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things where, like, I don't think they necessarily should. Like, it's when, like, Roxas is going to be in there. I don't think that he should come back. Like,
he served his part.
Yeah, like, this is the same thing with Xion. Like, their arcs are finished. Like, yes, they're beloved characters. Like, everyone loves Xion and Roxas, but like, they had their arc and it ended, and just bringing them back. I'm very scared with how they do it if they do that, and then the fact that since they made time travel a thing, that convolutes things even more than it already was.
Their time travel rules are weird, but before we get into that, like, Xion, everyone lost her memories, but for whatever reason, Roxas still remembers her, but he doesn't remember her. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, but it makes sense.
It makes sense. It makes sense if you know anything about it.
Because, like, when Sora, like, sees Xion in his, like, mind, he cries.
Yeah.
Because of Roxas.
And he's just like, I don't know if I'm crying. He has his tears. So it's like, you can tell that, Roxas still remembers Xion, even if...
Which I kind of can relate to the time travel. Because the time travel rules in Kingdom Hearts are, you go back in time, you can go back in time, but you can't, your body can't go. You have to leave your body, and you can go, like, in a heart form, which is what Ansem did in Kingdom Hearts 1, that was a mind blow. And you can go forward in time and do things, but once you go back to your present day, you lose all your memories, but what you did for the time travel to happen will be etched in your heart so that you'll be destined to do it. I believe that's their explanation.
Something like that.
And the whole etched in your heart thing is just weird. And the fact that they, like, were able to track Sora with the key cross on his clothes, which just seemed like a design choice.
That's like the sigil thing that they have. So, like,
what?
Pretty much, if you have the key sigil on your clothes, just know it's not good for you.
And I think I saw something, like, if you look at the Birth by Sleep trio,
Terra has it.
Well, they all have it, but Terra's the only one that doesn't have something, like, in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like, blocking it. So it's like, huh. And Sora has it on his Kingdom Hearts 2 outfits with his belts. But that's just
yeah.
That's me.
Nomura likes his belts.
I watched this Honest trailer or something. It was like Kingdom Hearts is a story of a young boy with trying to fit into his shoes in the universe, but trying to fit into his even bigger shoes on his feet. And it's like a story of him trying to learn how to put on a belt. Because in Kingdom Hearts 3, he finally has his belt on correctly.
That's funny.
Oh my god. Anyway, we've been rambling on enough. I'm sure this has not been a fun episode for anyone to listen to, unless you're actually genuinely interested in either Kingdom Hearts.
The sad thing about this episode is that we've said a lot about Kingdom Hearts, but we've like barely even scratched the surface of what we could talk about.
Very, very true. We tried to hold ourselves and hold our tongues when we could, but at times that didn't work.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully we got someone interested in the series. If not, sorry. Don't listen to this episode.
It's good. We promise.
We promise, and I'm sure
it might seem like a lot. It might, but it's fun. You'll enjoy it.
And that's the one thing. Like Kingdom Hearts 3, I feel like Nomura is going to somewhat try to tailor, saying, "Hey, you can start with this game, but please play the others."
Yeah, because that's one thing that's been nice with them releasing the collections how they did. It's a nice way to get people that weren't fully caught up be able to get caught up pretty fast.
That, and they're just trying to make more money.
I mean, obviously, money's nice. Like, everything, and then it's a cash grab.
It's like all the iPhones. Like, they keep raising the prices to ridiculous numbers, but people keep buying them, so they're gonna keep raising the price.
Yeah,
if people keep rebuying the same game, like I have, they're gonna keep doing it.
Exactly. But it's still nice to just have them all right there, because like these are like the main drawbacks that people say about Kingdom Hearts is just the timeline, and then trying to play them is so hard because they're on so many different consoles and everything.
Right now, if anyone is like interested after listening to this, I know Jason, you are, and who knows if you listen to this far, but you can play all the games we talked about. Experience all the games we talked about for $99 on the PlayStation Store. You'll get all the collections and Kingdom Hearts 3 the day it comes out. If you buy it now, you can play all the collections right now. When Kingdom Hearts drops, you can play it at midnight.
This is not sponsored, by the way.
This is not sponsored by Square Enix. Although, if it was, that would be amazing.
It would be. Square Enix, if you're out there, we've Wayne Mine's little dono.
Maybe we'll get invited to some event to play an early screen test, which, God,
that would be amazing.
I would love myself forever. $99. Play the games. If not, sorry for this episode that you're not interested in. But I think that's going to do it. We'll get out of your hairs and stop talking your ears off. Anyway, everyone, hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. You can find us on all the major podcasting listening sites, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play Music, iTunes, and our website on Buzzsprout. But we will talk to you guys later. I'm Avery.
And I'm Justin.
And see ya.